So what is the magnetic method? The magnetic method is a term that I coined that allows you to position yourself as an authority and attract your exact ICP instead of repelling them and trying to chase them down. And it's done so through three different parts: the magnetic positioning, magnetic messaging, and magnetic pricing, each of which has different components inside of them. So I'm going to break down all of these things for you on this whiteboard right now. First thing is magnetic positioning. It's how your offer, pricing, and guarantee are structured in a way that automatically filters out wrong fit clients, naturally attracts premium and serious buyers, and creates desire through specificity and exclusivity. Now, the first component of magnetic positioning is component 1, which is the anchor of transformation. And this essentially is your specific measurable outcome in a specific time frame. For example, you have a template in place that might look like, I take specific type of business from XYZ to desired state in a time frame through the unique mechanism that you offer. So to ask yourself this question, to build this exact component 1 for you, the anchor of transformation, you have to ask yourself, what exact outcome do you deliver? What's the starting point of your ideal client? What time frame do you deliver it in? And what makes your approach unique? Now that you have component 1, this is component 2, which is the premium pricing strategy. And this basically is the shift from XYZ price point to the end result. So it allows you to justify pricing your prices 2 to 3 times higher than the market rate and being positioned as selective instead of expensive, positioning yourself as an authority, which justifies that increase in price, which allows you to make more money and makes your client feel like they're getting a more luxury premium service, even though it could be the same thing, it's just framed differently, right? And how do you do this? Well, you have to leverage the way that you speak, talk the way that your client talks, and use their lingo, use the way they speak and present themselves and attract themselves to you. You don't want to speak like your exact competitors, because you're only going to attract competitors and people who want to be like you. But to attract your exact target ICP, you have to put yourself in their shoes, understand them to an extreme depth that they wouldn't even understand themselves, and then justify increasing the prices because you are basically acting like them. You understand them to a point that they don't understand. Component 3 is the selective guarantee, and this basically is the risk reversal that requires commitment from the client, basically from shifting from the money-back guarantee to a commitment-based guarantee, because you can't guarantee all the results. Otherwise, you're going to get refunds and cashbacks and callbacks. And this is very crucial because you're positioning that your service is not something that people would ever need a refund from in the first place. You're not going to guarantee results, but you are guaranteeing that with the time that they put in, they are going to basically have some kind of results happening through their commitments. You can't promise commitment on their end. Otherwise, you won't make any money. It's just the name of the game. If you could control everybody, well, that would be amazing, but you can't. So you have to understand that in your position, what can you control? Well, you can't control commitment, but you can control what you deliver to this person and what knowledge you give to them to get to the end point, the desired outcome that they desire so badly. So by giving them a money-back guarantee, you're basically saying, well, you could do all this stuff on paper, but if you actually don't do it, you're still going to get a refund with all the information and the knowledge that I give you. But by doing instead a commitment-based guarantee, you are basically saying with the commitment that you have lined in place, if they do not follow these guidelines, they're not going to get any money back and they're not going to see any results. If they want to see any results working with you, they have to put in the work to get there. Now, last component of magnetic positioning is component 4, which is the positioning statement. And this is the exact language, similar language, that makes you the choice and not another option, right? So instead of going from, I'm a business coach who helps entrepreneurs, you could instead say, I help online coaches implement the magnet method, which would be my thing, the framework that makes them magnetic to premium clients instead of having to chase them. And some components of having magnetic positioning statements might be the specific clientele of who you serve, what framework or method you use to get there, the transformation your method creates essentially, and how it's different from alternatives. So for example, a template could be, I help specific person implement your framework, the blank of the description of the framework, that transformation instead of what they're doing right now. Okay. Now, this is super crucial. All of these parts, the components of magnetic positioning, if you miss one, you're going to miss all of them. Make sure you have all 4 of those components lined into place. And then with all these lined into place, you should have your offer, pricing, and guarantee that are structured in all these ways that I mentioned previously. Pillar 2, which is magnetic messaging. And this is the way that your communication in context for sales calls speaks to your ideal clients' actual pains and desires at a level where they think, how the fuck did you read my mind? Okay. Now the first component is the ICP. What is it? So knowing your ideal client situation better than they know it themselves. So basically you would shift from anyone who wants to grow their business and be very, very specific instead on who exactly you're targeting. So instead of anyone who wants to grow their business, you can instead say, for me, online coaches doing 10 to 30K per month who are stuck because they're maxed on delivery and don't have the time to acquire new clients. Component 2 would be pain excavation. And this is understanding the layers of pain that surface symptoms to a deep emotional core. Component 3 is the desire, right? And this is understanding what they want and not just what they say they want, but actually what they need. They say they want freedom. They say they want all of these things, but you have to understand once you position yourself magnetically to them, you understand and you're in their shoes of what exactly they want. So you can basically now tell them what exactly they want. Frame it on sales calls, frame it in your content, frame it everywhere, and message to them that this is really what they want. Sure, do they want to, relax a little bit more? Yes, but ultimately what they want is be able to have someone on their team, scale them to a certain point where they can focus on the more important stuff in the business, not just relax all day. Because everyone can say, I'll help you send a lot more emails and do your copywriting so you can just sit back and relax and do whatever. That's not specific, that's not measurable, and that's not attainable. You have to have all of these things within the magnetic messaging, position yourself in their shoes to have them become attracted to you because you understand them to a certain point that they say, how the fuck did you read my mind? Component 4, which is the language library, and these are the exact words, phrases, and analogies that your client uses, which kind of blends here with magnetic positioning, but instead of positioning yourself, you're now messaging using this framework instead. All right. Now, last one is magnetic presence, and this is being omnipresent, being everywhere that you can possibly position yourself, being authoritative, and also being systematic. And you would ideally choose two, but ideally 3 of these channels here, which is authority content, authority outreach, and a referral leverage program. Now, there's different components and channels I have within this stuff, but it's pretty simple to explain this to you, so I'll just explain it to you on the whiteboard instead. So obviously, I assume you understand what content is. You're watching a piece of content right now. You understand what outreach is, and you probably understand what referral leverage is, but referral leverage essentially is what I like to call a distribution channel, a plethora of distribution channels at your leverage. I've mastered this understanding from Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola has positioned themselves in over 30 million restaurants worldwide. Well over 30 million restaurants. So not only do they get immense traffic from all of these restaurants, but they get immense traffic from all of the grocery stores, convenience stores that they're in, which is multi-millions compounded like their competitors on top of all the restaurants that they're in. They get little transaction fees off of every single person that buys a Coca-Cola from all these 30 million plus different locations. And on top of this, well, word of mouth is super important as well. So if someone says, hey, you have a Coke here, they sell Coke at this restaurant, their friends might want to come. You get the point. It's this massive referral engine, basically, that brings more people in because you position yourself everywhere. You're omnipresent. You're authoritative. Because you're omnipresent, you are also authoritative because the authority takes over the market, and you're systematic. You've leveraged yourself in all different areas of the market to get all of these different referrals, so you don't have to do outreach and content. Well, I don't have to because I position myself in so different distribution channels with different creators and partnerships, but the point is that you can maximize this by choosing 2 or 3 of these instead. You don't have to do content. You don't have to do outreach once you master the referral program, the referral leverage. But once you have done it, well, you can just scale to the next level, right? Do systematic outreach. Make an automation that I actually license to all my clients that I consult for, right? That scrapes all of the leads on Instagram, matching your exact target ICP, and filters them into a spreadsheet so you can reach out to these exact people with a setter that are all qualified for your help. Every single person that is in this scraper is matching and qualified to your ICP. And if you have results and if you have leverage that you can leverage results through referrals or through past clients you've already worked with, well, this outreach is going to be extremely fucking easy because you have results to prove that your systems, that your coaching, that whatever you're selling has worked for all of your other clients. Okay, if you want that, just comment system down below if you want to work with me, or DM me on Instagram as well. I should have the keyword in my bio somewhere. I believe right now it's magnet, so go comment magnet and we can hop on a call and discuss how we can implement this system, this lead scraper into your business today. Number 3 is content. Once you have all these in place, once you have a lot of referrals, once you have a lot of outreach going out, content is more of the long-term game, as I'm sure you know. Yes, you can scale with ads, but honestly, why not scale with content? Ads are just a compound on top of content. Ads are extremely, extremely important, but the whole point of the magnet method is to scale with your positioning, with your messaging, and with your presence, so much so that you don't have to rely on organic and you don't have to rely on paid ads. Yes, you can have this. Yes, you can have paid ads, which could pay you a lot higher ROAS, especially with these things, which will just compound the magnet method. However, you don't need them because you position yourself as an authority, you position yourself to be omnipresent, and you have the systems in place to make it that way where you can scale to the next level, if that makes sense. So real quick, I want to break down how the magnet method will work in real time on this whiteboard here with what I call push versus pull marketing. So write down push versus pull. Okay. So the first one will be, we'll do push marketing first. So this is you. And you, unlike all your other competitors, are stuck. You've plateaued, you've flatlined, you've hit 10, 30, 40K per month, and you can't scale past 50K per month like you're so desperately trying to do. Because what you do is you try to target everybody, right? You try to hit all of these people in here by selling so many systems. And what happens, because you try to extend yourself so much towards everybody, what actually happens is everybody is fucking sick of you and goes further away from you. So by you trying to grab more clients and grasp onto more clients and pull and beg and try to do all this stuff, what happens essentially is you're pushing these people away. Now, push versus pull marketing could be explained in the same way. This could be technically pull, right? Like you're trying to pull people towards you, but they're just kind of going away. Or you could describe it as push marketing as you push all these people into your funnel, right? This is the way I like to think about it, that you're pushing people away instead of pushing them into your funnel to see you. So this is the way that I explain push versus pull marketing. So if it's a little bit confusing to you, that's why. But essentially, you're pushing all of these people away by trying to grab onto everybody, right? While your competitors, and what you should be doing instead to a higher extent once you've mastered the magnet method, and your competitors probably haven't even done this, is they're using pull marketing instead. So this would be your competitors, ideally you, so we'll say you 2.0, right? And you have all of these people in your framework, in your funnel somewhere, and you're positioning yourself through magnetic positioning, through magnetic messaging, through magnetic presence, that you are now an authority, you are now omnipresent, and you are systematic. So because you're targeting a specific ICP, trying to help that exact person, and you're already positioning yourself as an authority, using their lingo and using the systems to acquire them and not push them away, but pull them closer towards you, what naturally happens is you're going to attract the exact people towards you because they feel seen. They don't feel like they're being sold to. They feel like they're being consulted with. They feel like they're trying to be helped. And that's what the whole point of your service should be. It should be service, not selling. If you're so focused on selling, not the service, you've forgotten why you're doing what you're doing. Yes, money is the outcome, money is great, but ultimately, what you're doing is just helping more people. You're helping solve a problem. And you have to position yourself as the go-to person to solve that problem for people, and not everybody else. But your competitors, ideally you 2.0, are now pulling these people into your framework. And because these people feel so seen, because you're helping these exact people, they get results, you get results, and what happens is this compounds. So instead of a couple people coming into your framework, you're playing the long-term game, and now everybody who is in this similar circle, right, all these people that are doing something completely different are gonna fuck off, but all these people who are kind of wishy-washy should fall into this circle, this whirlpool, that you're pulling these people in because you're attracting yourself, or you're attracting people to you because of the way that you're positioning yourself. And this is why the magnet method, I believe, is truly the most important thing that you can do as an online business owner, because it allows you to take it to the next level. Most people try to scale with ads. Most people try to just do content. But what they're really, really missing at the end of the day is the fucking basics. if you're not positioning yourself as an authority, if you're not messaging yourself properly, if you're not being present everywhere on social media in a way that attracts your exact ICP, you're not going to get anybody, you're not going to scale to the next level. You're just going to stay stuck at 10, 30, 40, maybe 50K per month, but you're not going to scale past that. Right? You're not going to get to the point where you can make enough money to hire a team, to scale to the next level, to get a content team, to get an ads team, to get a sales team dialed, and an operator, and you're gonna have to manage all this stuff by yourself. You have nobody to help you scale to the next level. And even if you did, right, because of your positioning, because you're not making enough money, you're gonna have to pay all these teams an insane amount of money. So when you hit 100K per month, you're gonna make 20, 30% margins, right? What should be happening is you're making 70, 80% margins plus when you scale past 50K per month. The goal, when you hit 30, 50K per month, past 50K per month, you should be able to scale. But if you're not scaling, something is wrong, and that exact thing that's wrong is that you're, not leveraging the damn magnet method. Really. Because think about it. What else are you doing right now? Why aren't you scaling? You have organic content that's doing well. You have all of the leads you need. You're running a bunch of ads. You have all the organic content. There's a reason these clients aren't converting. You might even have a proper funnel system set up. By the way, if you don't have a funnel, contact me, right? We built funnels for the biggest creators. We're part of the fan bases. So if you need a funnel, DM us, we'll build you a quality funnel, okay? If lead conversion is your problem, a funnel might be your issue. Or if it's a bigger note, right? If you have all the lead acquisition you need, if a funnel isn't gonna work for you, or if you have a funnel and it's currently not working, maybe you need more than just a funnel to convert your leads, right? If you do the profile funnel, right, you don't want a VSL funnel. If you're launching a specific type of offer that doesn't require a VSL funnel, or you don't want to run a challenge funnel all the time, or a webinar all the time, and burn out your audience, right? You need to position yourself in a way with longevity to be evergreen and to position yourself to attract these clients instead of repelling them. Because if you build up your personal brand quality enough, to a way, again, I don't want to repeat myself, but I have to hammer this into you, because if you don't understand this, you're not going to scale. Truly, you're not going to scale. You can run as many ads as you want. You can push out as much content as you want and pray that it's going to work, but it's not going to work. You might get the views, you might get the likes, you might get the engagement, but you're not getting the clients. And that's why it's not working, because of this. Because you're just trying to push people to buy from you, not pull them into your ecosystem and have them feel warm and understood by what you're offering. Position yourself as trying to help the person, as understanding the person, as being the person, as having been the person, not as trying to offer your money or their money to you, if that makes sense. I hope this was helpful to you boys, you men. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see any other videos like this, please let me know. I'll be happy to make these. This was a lot of fun. We'll run more of these pretty shortly. And please do, even if you don't want to work with me or you're not qualified to work with me, as best as you can, implement the magnet method. It's going to 10x your business. Can I guarantee that? No, I can't guarantee that because I don't know your business. However, I can guarantee that it's going to help your business a lot more than not implementing it. So thank you again for watching. I hope this was valuable to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.